The EP Podcast. Heard everywhere podcasts can be found, and always at theeppodcast.com.
And welcome down to the EP Podcast. My name is Chris Lanuti, bellying up to my 9-foot homemade oak bar and pour yourself a cold one as we sit in my basement in Evergreen Park. This 30 minutes of good in a world of dumb is all brought to you by the First National Bank of Evergreen Park, who knows that when you're working toward a financial goal, every little bit counts, and that's why when you open up a Total Access checking account, you get free ATMs nationwide and a $300 bonus. Free ATMs means when you go anywhere and you use an ATM and they're like, well, that'll be $10 because you're in a casino. Guess who picks up the $10? Not you, the First National Bank of Evergreen Park. You also get great mobile and online banking tools. You have easy access to your money, and don't forget that $300 bonus. Open online at bankevergreenpark.com/total access. $100 required to open. Requirements to qualify. Must use link to apply. Member FDIC. All this month, the EP Podcast will be featured inside of the First National Bank of Evergreen Park, right in that iconic building at 95th and Pulaski. There's going to be all kinds of fun stuff there, not only from the EP Podcast, like the car magnets, some koozies, some fun stuff out there, but also free giveaways from other podcasts that we have here on the Broadcast Basement On Demand Radio Network, including Sox in the Basement, the #1 White Sox podcast in all the land. We have the $15 Sox in the Basement trucker hats sitting over there for free while supplies last. I'm not kidding. Get on over to the First National Bank of Evergreen Park. 3 great guests this week, 2 different segments. First of all, Glenn Pniewski from the Village going to check in some really cool and interesting stuff going on now and in the coming months here in the Village. He has his finger on the pulse, and we are going to have him give it all to us. And then we have 2 wonderful ladies from District 124, and one of them is the new superintendent. They have a major announcement. Plus, I've got a big question that I'm pretty sure that everybody wants to ask the new superintendent when it comes to the start of school in just a few weeks. Before I get into that, I have to take a moment and just kind of tell you what happened with the Most Holy Redeemer Carnival. We had Father James Highland on here a couple of weeks ago when they announced the carnival. They put this thing together with little to no notice when they finally found out they could do a carnival. Volunteers scrambled to put together a 4-day carnival. And on Sunday morning, before the 4th day began, Father James Highland goes up to the pulpit at Most Holy Redeemer Church and declares that the carnival broke every record that they had in terms of attendance and money raised in the history of the Most Holy Redeemer Carnival, and that was only 3 days in to a carnival that's normally 5 days long every year. It was before the final day on Sunday. I talked to organizers. I'm not giving away their figures. They may have doubled their greatest year ever. I think part of it comes from there's not enough going on right now, and you drew people from areas outside of Evergreen Park to come in and join the carnival. But also a lot has to be said for Evergreen Park and the Redeemer community and the people around that area spending a weekend with their neighbors and supporting an institution in Evergreen Park. It is incredible to hear how well that carnival went, and if you were out there this weekend, you are not shocked. That was the biggest party of the summer. Amazing job. Bravo to Father James Highland, all the other people that helped him get that carnival going. We were just honored to be able to talk about it right here on the EP Podcast. This week, as I said, a lot more to talk about. Let's get to it. Our next guest got to walk through my backyard just moments ago, and it was confusing. It looks like a jungle because I'm back from vacation. Nobody's mowed the lawn for 2 weeks. There's weird things growing through like the wood slats. I was already told by not one, but both of them sitting here that I need better signage when you're coming down to the 9-foot homemade oak bar in my basement to do the EP podcast. Joining us from District 124, the Superintendent, Dr. Jenna Woodland, and then also we have the president of the District 124 Foundation, Linda Panico. All right, so welcome down.
Thank you.
All right.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you for telling me you wanted to come on, because I already know why you're here, because you wanted to talk about a big event that did not happen last year, but the year before. The EP podcast was out, a part of it, thought it was great, had a blast at it, and I'm very excited that it is coming back. So, Linda, I'm going to let you start things off right away and tell everybody what's coming back.
We are so excited to announce the Back to School Bash is happening this year. It is going to be Tuesday, August 24th from 5:30 to 7 back at Central Middle School. It is on the first day of school, our first full day. So when we get out of school that night, everybody could head over to the bash.
So it's school, and then the kids get the bash later on. It's like an evening thing, right? It's like 5:30 at night it starts at, or something like that?
It'll start at 5:30.
So what kind of entertainment, what kind of excitement, what kind of things are you going to be doing there? What do people have to look forward to?
We are going to have a lot of excitement. We're going to have a DJ there. We are going to have some community businesses there performing. We're going to have the high school band again. Worries are going to come out and perform, the taekwondo place.
Oh, I've seen them before.
Yep.
Yeah.
Our rec department, the dance program is going to come out and perform. And a very exciting part of our bash, we are bringing in a foam company to have foam.
So are you gonna fill the whole parking lot with foam? Do you have like a small area of foam? Like, how much of a mess is it going to be? Because the superintendent here, when you said foam as we were sitting down, she was like, "Oh, really?"
We're going to have a foam party the first day of school. After school, we're going to have a foam party. I can't wait.
Yeah, I think my last foam party, I was 19 years old in some bar, and it was not a back-to-school bash. It was a very different kind of party. So, like, tell everybody a little bit about that.
So we're going to have a company come in with 2 cannons and shoot foam into a section of the parking lot. It will not be the entire parking lot.
Okay.
I have not gotten approval for the entire parking lot yet. And I don't think she's going to approve that. But we will do it on a section of the parking lot. And like I said, they're going to bring in 2 cannons, and it's just going to be foam for an hour and a half straight. And the kids are going to have fun. And then the fire department will be there with the truck, so maybe they could hose everybody down.
That's awesome.
Wouldn't that be a great idea? I got to get the fire department on board for this, but that's the next phone call.
Linda's coming up with ideas as we have the conversation, Dr. Woodland.
She's always thinking.
Does it make you nervous? I mean, here you are. You're just starting here as a superintendent, and this wonderful, bubbly personality here. And I've known Linda for years because we were both part of the Evergreen Park Girls Softball League. So I've known her for a while, but she is sitting here literally coming up with more ideas while she's talking to us here.
You know, she is very creative. The whole foundation is very creative. And I think just the concept of a community, again, coming together and being able to reconnect in this way in the first day of school will be essential to our needs to just reconnect with one another. It's well needed.
It is well needed. I think it's an exciting thing that's going to be happening, and the EP podcast is going to be out there during it. You asked me before we sat down, and I said I'm in, so we'll be out there. So we had a good time when we were there a few years ago. I'm happy that it's coming back. So how important is it to you as superintendent coming into here? And I'm sure you've heard all the stories. Like Evergreen Park, I've had conversation with people. I have this whole like network of podcasts, right? So I do one called Sox in the Basement. It's the #1 White Sox podcast that there is. And I have on different radio personalities and players and stuff. And they've talked to me. And throughout the pandemic, they would be off the air, like talking to me as we were getting ready to go on and talk. And they'd be asking me like how hard it was for my kids because they weren't in school. And I'm like, I'm in school.
Yeah.
And they're like, what? I'm like, I'm in Evergreen Park.
Exactly.
Like, this was, I'm sure you heard the stories. Were you taken aback at how much this district did and how they were able to open up like right away? And does it, I mean, like the tone was set, like Evergreen Park, this school district is going to be progressive thinking and make sure those kids were in school.
It's just amazing, and it just shows the dedication to the community, the dedication to the staff, the dedication to the students every single day that we offered that opportunity, and it 100% drew me to the district. So I'm so pleased to be here and to continue to offer in-person learning.
Right. And you get to have a big party.
And we get to have a big party that has foam and a ton of raffles. I mean, there's nothing that can go wrong here, right?
No, I think
I did say no to bounce houses, though.
She did.
Said no to what?
I'm
Don't you?
sorry.
What don't you like about bounce houses?
No
Is it the possibility that a child could fall out of the bounce house and land in the parking lot?
A variety of different factors. So I was swayed towards the foam. It sounds safer for the.
She didn't like the idea of us just throwing bleach on the kids as they came out to keep it clean for some reason. It might have been a hazard, but we went to the foam. But
Right.
we're also going to have a wax hand company where they are going to make wax hands. The kids can dip their hands and they
Right.
get, wax hands.
That's one way to keep the school clean all year this year. You can just have them dip their hands in wax before they start school, and then they just walk around with their wax coverings, right?
Yes.
There you go.
These are the great ideas. We are going to have, and then just different variety of vendors. We're going to have snow cones and popcorn and cotton candy this year.
What about the taco?
We are going to have a taco cart.
How is somebody going to get in everything that's available in an hour and a half? It's 5:30 to 7, and you have way too much to do at this event.
They will walk quickly around the event.
They should prioritize their to-do list
Yes.
in advance.
Yes.
Right.
Top priorities.
So who do you expect at this? I remember from a couple years ago, it was basically kids and their parents. I did have a few people though that showed up that didn't even have kids in the school that just wanted to come and go to the party. I mean, is it basically a kids and parents thing, or who's welcome to come to this?
So it is a community event because we are asking our community to help sponsor to have all these fun things. But it is for the entire District 124. It is for the staff, administration. It's for the parents, the children. It is for all of us to come together. And then our community members as well. They're more than welcome to stop by, meet our district, meet, the teachers and administration. So we would never turn anybody away from our bash.
I get muscle aches all the time. I've gone from being able to do whatever I want to and not feeling any pain to basically getting pain for any kind of physical activity. Good news, there's a local family-owned Southside business that provides a CBD topical that will not break the bank. Creaky Bone Balm offers concentrated relief for creaky bones. It is an effective hemp-based CBD in a rejuvenating balm. And guess what? It's made in small batches, always free of preservatives, and all natural ingredients. It's great for muscle aches, tension, inflammation, joint pain. You can even use it for skin ailments like burns and dry, cracked skin. Right now, go to creakybone.com and use the promo code BASEMENT. Get 20% off your order. And now check out the new 2,500 milligram balm with reduced pricing on their classic balms right now at creakybone.com. Because everybody knows that I have the superintendent of schools sitting here, I have to ask her a question, all right? And I'm going to ask you the question, and I'm sure you know what's coming, but I'm going to set this up.
Ready.
I'm going to set this up very calmly
I'm
for
ready.
you, okay? All right. So I want to say, right before I left I was actually on vacation. And the Archdiocese of Chicago came out with their plan for going back. And my wife and I, sitting on the beach, laughed when we got your email maybe a couple hours later. I was like, this poor woman received so many phone calls and people reaching out to her after the Archdiocese said what their plan was, which, if I'm not mistaken, it's right now their plan, it's out, and this could change by the time that it airs, is that vaccinated personnel and children don't have to wear a mask in school. And they're going to put out what they're going to have as their mask requirement. And it's interesting. I keep saying there's a total possibility Archdiocese does the same thing that they did with church, because they basically said recommended. And so you, on the other hand, are sitting here with a bunch of parents that are probably waiting. Some that would be, and there's no way everybody's happy. Is it you that's making this decision, or is somebody else coming to you when the decision is made? What dictates your decision? Because I'm pretty sure like people are waiting to find out how all the District 124 schools are going to operate. What dictates it? Is it you? Is it something that you have to listen to? Is it basically decisions made for you? How does it work?
That's a great question. So essentially, we want to look at all stakeholders and take into consideration their feedback in terms of returning to school as safe as possible. So that includes legal counsel, that includes liability insurance, that includes our teachers, our community members. And I just highly recommend that people continue to reach out to me and share their feedback so that we can look at mitigation as a whole and not look at masks specifically.
Well, you know what a hot button issue that is.
100%. It's a hot button issue.
And what's funny is it's something that we talked about even last summer. I mean, you're not the first person I've asked questions about this. Last summer, we had both the co-superintendents on. I had the principals from the Catholic schools. I had the high schools on, and we talked about all this stuff back then. Because to me, if you turn on one of these major news networks, they do everything they can to freak you out. One way or another. They either make you terribly afraid, or terribly like they're pushing you in a way where it's like, don't do anything. Run around and lick a lamppost. What it is, they always go for the extremes because the extremes is what sells ad revenue. I was in the media. The extremes sell ad revenue. Fear and anger and all those things sell ad revenue because people watch longer. And so that's why I asked the question, because I would like to stay away from that. I just kind of wanted to understand how it gets set up. So it's not a governing body above you. It'll be something that you'll have to do, but you want input, you want feedback, you want people to reach out.
100%. I want people to reach out. And in fact, I have a committee of teachers coming together this Thursday so I can specifically get their feedback on how they feel in terms of returning to school at 100% capacity as well.
All right. So decision to come.
Yes, decision to come, hopefully soon.
Do you feel pressure on it? Or do you feel like, hey, whatever we do, I'm going to feel confident in what I do, and it's fluid. I can always make a change in 2 months or something like that. How do you feel?
I feel like that Evergreen Park has shown me that there's so many things that keeps them together, and this is a time where we have to stay united and stay together to ensure that kids are returning to school, and that should be at the forefront of our minds at all times.
I think that's a good thing. I've said it all along. Evergreen Park sat in front of everybody in the area.
They did.
They opened up their schools. They had their businesses. They figured out how to keep them around. There are people that are across the border in other suburbs and in Chicago that, business people that send their kids to school that look at what was available here, not only for the Catholic school kids, but for the public school kids in District 124.
Exactly.
That was so much better. The options and the ability for their kids to go to school and for the parents to make choices based upon how they felt that nobody else was offering. And it was, and so I think this summer, because of how well things ran, I think you're going to get benefit of the doubt no matter what you do.
I hope so.
I hope so too.
Fingers crossed,
right? If not, they'll be happy with tacos and foam, and there's a DJ,
and we're going to have a back to school bash no matter what, right?
Building relationships, supporting the community, and service. These are the things that Country Financial stands for. They're more than just an office you may pass by as you drive through Evergreen Park. They're neighbors who lend a helping hand and support the fabric of your community, including charitable organizations, sports, financial education, and civic organizations. And since Country is already your neighbor, they want to get together and chat. Call your local Country Financial representative, Mike Thauer, today at 708-425-1559 to talk about the things that are important to you and how he can help you protect them. It is now time for your EP podcast, Word on the Street, brought to you by the Evergreen Park Chamber of Commerce, reminding you this Friday, August the 6th, starting at noon, is their 2021 golf outing. $60 for golf and a golf cart. Add 10 more and you get barbecue afterwards. You don't like golf, put up $25 and come to the barbecue party. Fountain Hill's a 9-hole golf course. We're playing best ball, and I will be out there amongst others from Evergreen Park. Come join us, play some golf, have some fun this Friday. Get more details at evergreenparkchamber.org. I'm going to kick off this word on the street with a message that we received here at the EP Podcast recently. And remember, go to the eppodcast.com. Leave a voice message, the little blue microphone in the bottom right-hand corner of the page, or just send us a written message. There's a way to do that. Check out the website. Let me read this to you. Hi, Chris. I'm inviting you and the EP Podcast on the road to my Evergreen Park porch. I've been thinking of this since I saw you promoting the pod at Day in the Park. Man, that was a long time ago. Sadly, COVID hit and my invite was tabled and life stopped as we know it. Contact me. Let's get together on the porch. Beers are on me. John Riley. John, I love this. I love this idea. I love the fact that somebody wants the EP Podcast to come and hang out in front of their house. He sent me a picture. He's got a porch in the front of his house right here in Evergreen Park, and I'm down with it. We're going to reach out to John, and very soon here, either in August or September, we are going to do a live show from the front of somebody's house. I dig this idea. Stay tuned for that. Meanwhile, when it comes to everything else going on in Evergreen Park, instead of me reading a big list to you, let's bring in an expert. I get back from a vacation. I don't know what's going on in Evergreen Park, so who do I talk to? The guy with his finger firmly on the pulse from the village, Glenn Pniewski, down here at the 9-foot homemade oak bar. How are you, my friend?
I am fine, and I am glad to be back here. You know, the last few interviews that we've done have been over the phone, but it's nice to be back down here in the studio.
Yeah, I'm happy too. And you know what? You have different facial hair. I'm trying to figure it out. I didn't think you were
glasses
just.
on.
Yeah, you also. I don't remember just a stash. Didn't you have like the thing on the chin?
I did take the goatee off.
You walked in. So. My kid looked at you and you were like, "You know me," and he was just looking at you. I'm like, "Well, he had a mask, and before that, he had a completely different look going for him. You've updated the look, and this is the first time I've seen it, Glenn."
It's you know, sometimes you just got to do something, but
got to keep it fresh.
But as far as being back down here, you know, listen, people, you might say, you know, hey, down here at the 9-foot bar, and people will think, oh, there's at a bar. No, you got a nice place down here. Yeah. This is a very professional studio. It's not like you're down here broadcasting in your underwear.
No.
Although, who knows, maybe you do, but not this current moment.
I did interview the former mayor, James Sexton, one morning when I didn't know that I was going to have him on. Okay. I don't know if you remember, there was some sort of incident he got very upset about towards the end of his reign. Well. And I found out like 5 minutes beforehand that he wanted to come on the show, and I had just woken up. So I smacked myself in the face a couple times, drank a quick cup of tea, and ran down here in my boxer shorts and did that interview. But normally...
Over the phone.
Yeah, that was over the phone. Normally, there's pants on down here.
No, this is a very professional setup, which I, as an audio tech guy, am very envious of. So.
Well, thank you. I appreciate that. You know, there's a bunch of stuff I want to ask you about, but the first thing I'm going to ask you about is just something I always wonder. When do I have to get my vehicle sticker done? Because I'm starting to see that you have the whole vehicle sticker thing like on the website, and I always think to myself, like, is it time for that already? Like, really? I mean, I gotta buy one of those again, and I always worry I'm gonna forget it. So can we start with that? Because that was the first thing that I thought it was the vehicle stickers.
Well, it is very interesting that you ask, because that is the first thing on my list.
No, listen.
I'm a practical interviewer. I want to take care of me as well here. In this interview.
You know, yes. The applications were mailed last week. Okay, so let's just say the weekend of the 23rd, 24th.
Okay.
So you've probably got them in your mailboxes already. All I can do is to say get them quick, and it's even easier now because you can go online and order them. You know, you just pop on the front page of the website. There's that little number that you plug in that'll bring up your record, and you just pay for your stickers, make any changes. You just go through a credit card at no additional fee, and you will have those stickers in your mail in a very quick time.
Look how modern you guys are. When's it due, actually?
Okay, you have to have the sticker on your vehicle on September 15th.
All right. I just want to make sure.
You can, you know.
Because I'm a last-minute guy, Glenn. I know you're like, hurry up and do it early, but I'm a last-minute guy.
Our thing is just try to avoid the, if you've ever stood in those lines the last couple of days at the Village Hall, don't do that.
What's the picture? Do you know?
It is a nice picture of Circle Park, looking right through the pergola there. Very artistic.
My goal one day is for it to be like a crowd shot of like people at an event and somehow be able to see myself in the picture, like, or somebody I know.
Okay,
you know, like
I'm writing that down.
I think
for
a crowd shot would be awesome because people would get the sticker and be like, "Do I know anybody in the crowd shot at some event?"
Right.
Like that'd be fun.
Yeah, where's Chris?
Unless, of course, it's like somebody you don't like in the neighborhood, like it's an annoying neighbor, and then that guy's on your car for a year.
That's true.
So there's a double-edged sword there, but I'd still like to see it. It'd be kind of a fun conversation piece.
Noted for next year.
All right, what else you got going on, bud?
Hey, well, I've got we got the rec department does have a couple of concerts coming up. There's one on Sunday, August the 22nd, and that is Rick Lindy and the Wild Ones Band. That's 6 p.m. over at Circle Park. And then you have read about on Labor Day. We will have a Labor Day concert. That's Monday, September 6th at 50 Acre Park. That is.
And you got fireworks after.
That is the return of Rich Daniels and the City Lights Orchestra. So they will be playing on the pergola. And they start at 5. That concert will probably end at 7. And then hang around for a little while and turn your chairs to the south, and there will be a fireworks show.
That's exciting.
It is something different, you know. And listen, people have expressed concerns about the animals in the barn. They will be fine. We have consulted with the barn guy that's all going to be locked up. He will be in there with them. They will be fine.
So what we've done is we understand there's the barn there. We understand there's animals there, but we've done consultation with people that deal with the animals. We know the animals will be okay while the boom booms are going off in the sky.
Right.
Because my dog hates fireworks.
Right.
He cowers and runs and hides and is miserable during fireworks season. So I can understand how that could be something that could be concerned, but it sounds like you guys have that taken care of.
Hey, even at 4th of July, 4th of July was loud, but I thought it was going to continue in the next day. And
I know!
People kind of behaved themselves.
It was weird.
So, yeah.
It's summer in Evergreen Park, and right now you're thinking to yourself, where can I get together with family, friends, have some traditional Irish food and incredible cocktails, or just have the perfect pint of Guinness poured for me? Porter Cullen's Irish Pub and Restaurant has fine Irish dining, catering for any event, is family friendly, and now has a brand new private party room and video gaming for those 21 and over who want to try their luck at the slots. The beautiful brand new private room at Porter Cullen's holds between 12 and 25 for seating and up to 30 for drinking. And the adjoining brand new private gaming room, play games in private and receive service for drinks and food while you play. Go for the corned beef and the fish and chips, and pop back and check out the brand new facilities at Porter Cullen's. Porter Cullen's is located at 3541 West 99th Street. Find out more at portercullens.com. And then I'm going to ask you about it, and you're probably going to tell me you don't know anything about it, or it's not official yet, but I want this Oktoberfest thing going down. Is this thing set yet?
We are... Next conversation that we have, they are working on that right now. So in a couple of weeks, we'll get rec department over here.
All right, because I haven't seen it on the calendar yet. I check the website constantly. I'm a big Oktoberfest guy. Getting the later hosing out, I'm gonna have a blast.
Are dotting the I's and crossing the T's. So there will be some fall events. Just give us a couple of weeks.
All right.
Final.
What else do you have right now?
Well, something of interest I mentioned to you once before. Something we've got coming up on Saturday, August 21st. And I understand this is not a huge interest event, but I think it's quirky enough, or I should say...
Is this your typewriter
QWERTY. It is our first annual Type-In.
You talked about this on the show
before.
before.
Calling all classic typewriter lovers and writers or fans of quirky, or QWERTY, nostalgia. This will be at the Senior Center on the 21st of August from noon until 4 o'clock. It is a free event, and if you've got typewriters in your house... bring them. There are collectors. So, we will have collectors there and people who use them. Sit down at a table, type something out. We're going to have custom-made little type-in letterhead made, type a little letter to your relatives or something like that. And the big thing we're going to have is I actually have a celebrity going to be there.
Is this a celebrity typist or a celebrity?
This is, I consider her a celebrity. There's a girl on YouTube. She has a YouTube channel called Just My Typewriter. Her name is Sarah Everett, and she has a lot of nice videos out there. She's a collector. She also does nice artsy, crafty things with them. She's coming in from Pittsburgh.
Okay, let me get this straight, because I'm starting to think you're making this all up.
I am not.
Yeah,
it's all down here.
There are people that love typewriters so much that not only do they collect them, but they show up at events just to type letters at the event. Mm-hmm. And now you have a girl with a YouTube channel that just deals with typewriters flying in from Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania,
Right.
for an event here in Evergreen Park
That
where
is
you're
exactly
expecting typewriter enthusiasts to come from all around and hang out at the senior center.
That is our hope. Hey, this is our first annual one.
You know what? I got to tell you something, man.
I want you there. Have a booth, doggone it.
I'm going to tell you, nobody will ever accuse Glenn Pniewski of not shooting his shot. Like, he sits there and he goes, you know what? I got an idea and I'm going for it. And I hope that you get thousands of typewriter enthusiasts at this
I will
thing.
be happy with 40. No, but literally, I think it is definitely listen, the typewriter thing, it's coming back just like LPs. And by the way, I will have a phonograph there. We will be playing some LPs in the background.
I had James Van Ozen from Q101. He wanted to take one of my podcasts and put it on vinyl. And he did I was like, you're going to put a podcast on vinyl? So obviously there is this thing for nostalgia. So I don't, I'm kidding around, but I know there's people that are into this stuff.
I am working on having a guy there who is a typewriter repair guy. And now, naturally, he's not going to repair your typewriter right there, but at least he can give you some
He's going to evaluate.
tips.
Evaluate.
He has a place in Chicago, so I'm working on him. And I probably should not say this because we'll get calls. Tom Hanks.
Tom Hanks is coming?
He is a typewriter enthusiast.
Tom Hanks is coming to Evergreen Park. Is that what you're saying, Glenn?
I have sent him an invite. That's all I'm saying.
Listen, if you get Tom Hanks, it becomes the biggest event in the history of Evergreen Park.
Okay.
Right?
Ladies and gentlemen, this disclaimer, Tom Hanks will not be coming to the Evergreen Park.
What if he comes, though?
That's when I get on the phone and call the mayor. I say, get over here right now.
You call me, too.
Well, I want you there. I want you to have a table there.
See, this is what you're doing. You're trying to entice me to the possibility that Forrest Gump is going to show up and sit down next to me. So for me to be able to have that opportunity, I got to go to the typewriter thing.
At the very least, I'll have a cardboard cutout of Tom Hanks anyway. Sitting in front. No, literally, and we're part of the promo of the next couple of weeks. Things that go out on our Facebook and eBlast. I'm going to be linking some really cool YouTube videos about what they call the typewriter revolution and little things like that. Hey, listen, it's an interesting way to spend part of your afternoon on the 21st.
You know what? Look. I think that things like card games like Magic the Gathering are weird because I don't understand it, and I've never been into typewriters. So,
but I'm thrilled to have
I don't understand it, but you've got this YouTube star coming in from Pittsburgh, and the 1 out of 100,000 chance that Tom Hanks might show up. I mean, I'm digging it, Glenn.
Well, like I say, the envelope is making its way to California as we speak. So
he may show up. He's Tom Hanks. He does weird stuff.
Yeah, and
he pops up in the background of people's wedding photos. I've seen the little things on Facebook when they go around.
That's true.
Tom Hanks does some weird stuff. He might show up.
Okay, I will get calls.
Don't
come expecting to see Tom Hanks.
I'm going expecting it, but I'm an unrealistic person.
Yeah, we'll serve lunch. We'll have lunch available for purchase. So hey.
Tom Hanks eats for free, though, right?
Exactly right.
You put that in the invite, right?
So does Sarah Everett.
When you sent the invite to Tom Hanks, you told him if he showed up that everything was free, right? You didn't send the thing that said he has to pay for lunch. You're not getting Tom Hanks if he thinks he's got to spring for lunch.
I will buy his $5 sandwich.
Send another invite that says that you're taking care of his lunch. I don't want you missing out on him.
There you go. That is Saturday, August the 21st.
August the 21st.
Noon to 4.
Noon to 4.
At the very least, you should come through with your...
I'm going to come through.
There you go.
At the very least, I'm coming through.
Yeah.
All right. I'm going to work on Tom Hanks for you.
There you go.
I'm going to make some phone calls.
Well,
but I'm going to try and work on this for you.
I could just see Facebook on the 22nd. They said Tom Hanks was going to be there, and he did. That was false advertising.
Another show is wrapped up. Another show's in the books. Another show is wrapped up. And then by the looks, it's going to be a good one. And we'll see you next week. And the nude is basement. And the nude is basement. Another show is wrapped up. Another show is wrapped up. Another show is wrapped up. And it's in the books. Another show is wrapped up. Another show is wrapped up. And by the looks, it's gonna be a good one. It is basement. Broadcast basement. The nudist basement. The broad basement. Slancha.
The EP Podcast. Heard everywhere podcasts can be found. And always at the eppodcast.com.